Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another Chuck Chat. It's July the 22nd. I always like to start off with a little humor. I have top 10 funny reasons to wear a mask. Number 10, think of all the money you'll save on toothpaste, mouthwash, and makeup. Number 9, they have cool ones that you can write on and cool colors too. Number 8, no one will ever be able to read your lips again. Number 7, you don't have to smile and pretend you're happy anymore. Number 6, no one will notice if you have something in your teeth. Number 5, you can mumble dirty words and pretend someone else said them. Number 4, what a relief it'll be to get home and take the damn thing off. Number 3, Trump will make fun of you. That's a badge of honor to me. Number 2, all those security cameras are now worthless. And the number 1 reason to wear a mask is, drum roll please, because now you'll know who all the good guys are. So the heat's pretty bad. You can see this is a cartoon of the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz jumping into a swimming pool, which you know she'll melt. Man, this heat is making everyone crazy. Shut the door. It's another 10 minutes before it's your turn. Bad news, Margaret. Your pink plastic flamingos melted on the lawn. This was found on Facebook. And this is why you never take the top bag of ice. And there's a lady sitting on top of the ice, and that's why you don't take the top bag. You always go to the bottom. In God's kitchen, what are you cooking? Texas, why? And I'm not adding this year to my age. I didn't use it, so we probably all feel this way. And this is actually from my wife that she sent me just the other day. So in January 2020, we were all feeling like Mary Poppins. In July 2020, we're feeling like Mrs. Hannigan. So COVID-19 in Westminster update. So we have 1 active resident case of COVID-19 currently, and we have 3 associates currently testing positive for the virus. All of them are recovering at home in quarantine, and they either have light or no symptoms at this point. I have been showing you a COVID-19 tracker analysis based on state, county, and community performance, and that's how we determine what phase we're in of a reopening. We do have a 3-phase program. We're currently in phase 1 and we'll be there for some time. Originally, it was intended that each phase would last 4 to 6 weeks, but clearly, because of the way Texas is presenting with cases and the way that our county is presenting, we have stayed in phase 1 and will likely be there for several more weeks. This shows you the tracker analysis, and you can see the highest day this is actually per day results for Texas. And you can see our numbers reached more than 14,000 the other day. So it's really tracking up, and we really need to see that go down before we can enter into a new phase. The number of cumulative cases in Texas as of, I believe this was the 16th, is north of 320,000. This is just a slide showing you how to properly wear your mask, and the idea is to wear your mask like this, with your nose and mouth covered, and you should be doing this when answering your door or coming outside of your apartment at all times, and also maintain social distancing. I thought it would be good to include a slide that talks about why do we wear a mask and practice social distancing. Number 1, masks protect other people. You may not realize you're contagious. Masks can protect you as well. There's actually been some studies on the effectiveness of masks, and even a cloth face covering produces good results in limiting exposure. Masks may help the economy recover faster, so the more we cooperate, the more we wear a mask in Westminster and even outside of Westminster, the better we're going to stop COVID-19 in its tracks. And there are really few alternatives right now until a vaccine is available. So we all need to wear masks and practice social distancing. Phase one, what does that mean? Staff-led and resident-led activities of 10 or less, okay with social distancing and mask in place. I know there's some confusion out there, and the city of Austin has advanced into phase 4 or stage 4 of their restrictions, which says no more than 2 people should gather if they're high-risk population, which is anybody over the age of 65. We're allowing in our phase 1 activities of 10 or less, but we're restricting those activities to folks that are inside Westminster, folks that have been abiding by the restrictions that we've had in place and are wearing their face mask and social distancing. And we're helping you practice those safe restrictions, precautions. Our amenities are open with social distancing and mask in place. Small group meetings of residents are okay. No more than 10, social distancing and mask in place. Limited outside visitation at assigned areas only from spouses, partners, significant others, power of attorney is allowed with scheduled appointments only, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we're limiting visits to 1 hour with mask and social distancing in place, limit 1 per week. Healthcare center is still closed to visitors except end of life or resident wellness. Carry out available at the Laurel Dining Room. We're also adding breakfast carry out from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. starting August the 3rd, and that's from the Laurel Dining Room. So there'll be a small breakfast menu that they'll be distributing soon that you can order from. Housekeeping services to include bathrooms, kitchens, and bed linen. A little bit of a construction update. We're making progress on this entrance. There's a lot of holes in the ground over here, and there's one big hole in the ground here. You should be, if you have not already, received some links to the construction cameras so you can actually watch the work on your mobile phone or your iPad, tablet, or computer. You should receive those by Friday. And we've had to shrink, unfortunately, the driveway through here a little bit tighter than we wanted to. Just try to avoid this area if you can, north of the Windsor. If you need to drive through, I suggest you trying to drive through the middle drive as opposed to going north if you can avoid it. Okay. First 8 weeks of construction, as I've said, the front entrance, the healthcare center entrance is offline. Hopefully about 6 more weeks of that left. They're demoing. Actually, we'll be able to cover up some of those connections they've already made once the fire marshal comes out and inspects them, which hopefully will be in the next week or 2. They're behind in inspections because of COVID. So once that happens, they'll start installing the new parking and drive in front of healthcare center, and then prepare for move of transformer and generator utility connections on the west side of the Windsor. And then they'll also start doing some digging in the Windsor courtyard. And I believe that's going to start today around 8 o'clock. We're moving utility and water connections so that we can start the digging of the Windsor Tower expansion. This is what the drive will look like in front of healthcare when this is finished. You can see the additional parking spaces. You can also see the construction fence, and it's basically lined out where they thought it would be, and that stayed the case. Unfortunately, in the Windsor courtyard, we've had to move the fence because there was further connections and pipes that we needed to get to in this area. So this construction fence, unfortunately, has moved, and it's now located here. And unfortunately, there won't be anything that we can do about that. We'll have this access for the next few months, probably 3 months, and then we'll have to move the construction fence. Will actually shut off half of the Windsor courtyard while they start to do the digging out of this area, preparing for the Windsor Tower expansion. You may have received, actually, I'm sorry, here's a picture of the progress that we've made on the Carlisle hole. And like I said, you'll have links to this soon. And you may have received JD Power survey. If you have, we'd really like for you to fill it out. This survey is being offered independently of Westminster and Life Care Services. We don't have any control over who received it, but we would ask you, if you have received it, to fill it out and speak kindly about us if you would. I hope you appreciate living here as much as I appreciate working here. What's happening with the Preston air conditioner? Well, it's a mess. The board of directors has approved a plan to replace both the cooling tower and the main chiller. And the reason that we're going to go ahead and replace it, it's 21 years old, and it's going to cost probably north of $150,000 to fix it, or $350,000 to replace it. We decided that investing $150,000 into a 21-year-old machine is not a good idea. So we are opting to replace it, which should solve our air conditioning problems in the long term. It'll come with a 20-year warranty. Unfortunately, when we touch the chiller, we must also touch the cooling tower. We need to replace the cooling tower so that it can support the new chiller. And that's going to be an additional $150,000. And then we are renting this mobile chiller, the tractor trailer that you see behind the building. It's being rented at about $22,000 a month, and we'll be doing that for the next 4 months or so as we work to replace. It takes 11 weeks lead time on fabrication of a chiller and 3 weeks on the cooling tower. So it'll be about 4 months, and we hope to have this project completed. Appreciate your patience, and I'm so glad that you have had, very little interruption in your air conditioning. Thank you all for your thoughts and kind wishes on that. Questions and answers. What is a recommended mask etiquette when we are outside? Again, I wanted to mention this question. We highly recommend adhering to the CDC's recommendations and wearing your mask even when you are outside, while underlined in bold letters, maintaining social distance standards at all times, at least 6 feet. Please wear your mask, properly covering your mouth and nose when outside of your apartment, and also practice social distance. Can we eat with our scheduled visitors or with small groups of residents in our apartments or in the Laurel dining room? This continues to be a question that I'm getting and our department directors are getting as well. The answer is no. I am sorry, but visits and small group gatherings should be done with mask in place at all times while maintaining social distance. Eating together is not allowed at this time. This is an unsafe practice. You need to eat alone or with just those living in your household. And you really can't eat with a mask on, so you need to wear your mask. Why is the Arbor Healthcare Center still not allowing visitors except for end of life? I've talked about this before. The healthcare center is our most compromised residents, and we need to protect them to the utmost care that we possibly can. All, Center for Medicare Services, Texas Department of Health and Senior Services, and the governor of the great state of Texas have all said that nursing homes are to restrict visitors, except for end of life or resident wellness. Okay, so it's not just a Westminster rule, it's really a statewide rule. Please describe the appreciation gift card program for our very dedicated and outstandingly committed associates. Well, first, I agree with that statement completely. We do have great associates. Basically speaking, we were at Westminster, we have been providing appreciation gift cards, $100 over the last few months for all of our associates. And, it's just a way of showing appreciation to them for the hard work that they're doing, and also to help them through this COVID emergency. How can a resident be diagnosed with COVID-19 and have no contact with other residents or staff? So, this kind of speaks to, I made comments before in letters that go out that there's been limited contact or no contact with residents coming in that have maybe tested positive. And that's really because all residents are being quarantined after visits to hospital, out-of-town trips, and move-ins, etc. If there's a chance that somebody has contacted COVID-19 outside of Westminster, we're doing our utmost to quarantine those folks until we can get them tested. Once we test, usually 5 to 7 days, we get a turnaround of a positive or negative test. And then we can just, allow them not to be on quarantine anymore, or if they test positive, then they stay on quarantine. And that's the reason there is limited contact or no contact for residents. So we've really done a good job in isolating folks, and we're going to continue to do that. And I appreciate your cooperation. Please describe, oops, I already did that. What is causing the delay in using a timer on the pool temperature? We will not be using a timer at all, as the temperature on the pool will be maintained at 86 degrees, as recommended by the United States Water Fitness Association. So 86 degrees is the pool temperature. 104 degrees is the hot tub temperature. What will be the format for the continental breakfast in the coming weeks and months? Well, we'll continue the delivery for the next several weeks like we are now. Eventually, when we start to reopen into further phases, we'll transition to a grab and go style continental breakfast. So things will be like, it's not going to be like the buffet before where everybody's touching the serving utensils, but it'll be grab and go, single serving sizes where you can pick up and take it with you, or you can pick it up and eat in the dining room. And of course, we'll all be doing that in the Laurel dining room because the bistro will be under construction. How are we getting new residents into our community during this time of restriction? That's a good question, because that's a real concern. We do want to stay full. We want to be fully occupied. Things work out financially for Westminster much better. And also we're able to keep the monthly service fees down if we can stay full. If we can't, then that's definitely going to be a worry. We have had some sales, quite a few actually. We continue to get a lot of inquiries, but people are really leery of putting down an entrance fee and a significant entrance fee to move into a community. Sometimes they've never seen it. We are offering virtual tours of our campus, common spaces, amenities, and apartments. You can actually go to our Westminster website and you can see these for yourself. We continue to receive inquiries for all levels of care. However, there have been some reservations from prospective residents to move in or close on an apartment that they've never seen. So in person, it's just you get a feel for the place when you can come see it. We have developed a policy for prospective tours going forward, and I'm glad you asked this question. Beginning Wednesday, June the 29th, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the afternoon, we will begin offering tours to common spaces and apartments to prospective residents. Tours will be limited to 30 minutes. Individuals will be pre-screened by marketing before they even come on campus. Pre-screening means we're going to question them about their contact and make sure that they're safe before they even enter our campus. Once they've come to our campus, then they will be screened again by reception, including a temperature check, and then they will sanitize their hands and be escorted by someone from marketing, and they will travel a common path, and they will see their requested apartment only, and then we will escort them out and sanitize on their way out and then screen on their way out. We ask that all residents avoid the common spaces, the halls, the courtyards between 2 and 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, as this will be the only time we will allow these tours of our community through this phase of reopening. We are sorry for the inconvenience that this may cause, but I think I can trust that all of us understand the need to see in person a new home that a new resident is being asked to commit to. And I think, if you could remember back to when you were moving into Westminster and the significance of that and the significance of the resources you committed to staying here, to living with us, you can understand from the residents, the new prospects' perspective, that they need to be able to feel our community, to see our community, and see what it's like and see what the apartment can be for them. And a virtual tour does part of that, but it doesn't do everything for you. So I appreciate your cooperation in advance. I did run this plan and the policy by the Residents Association, and they fully endorsed it unanimously. So I appreciate that very much. The Residents Association board. really supported me in this, and I think this will be good for our community, and appreciate your cooperation. Just some helpful reminders: be careful of scams, including Amazon claiming your account has been hacked. Please wear your name badges. Please maintain social distancing standard of 6 feet at all times. Please wear your mask properly at all times. Please don't pull down your mask to talk to us or others. We can hear you through the mask. Please wash and or sanitize your hands often. Please return all carts to their original location. If you need assistance, please call the reception desk to pick them up. Your neighbors need to use the carts too. Garbage and recycle collections only occur on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Please do not place your trash or recycling outside your door on other days of the week. It's an inconvenience to the other residents. And it's also trashy looking, right? Please use the trash chutes if you need to get rid of trash on other days. Wanted to do a real quick commercial for the Westminster Writers Journal. Writers, you are awesome. Total submission so far is 22. Don't be left behind. If you haven't submitted something, please reach out and do so. Please submit your creative works. Join the writing crowd. 24 days left until August the 15th deadline. Call Lori Humphreys if you need help at 716-581-0319. Submission materials can be found in both lobbies, and a question and answer video found on 1890. And I believe that's playing today at 1:30. Thank you all. Stay strong, stay safe, and thank you for everything you're doing to make Westminster an extraordinary place to live. Appreciate y'all very much.